activity for CAs as well as second, let me you unmute yourself because otherwise.
Recording is done and sound is clear.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
And now there are some voices are coming, so I want to unmute everyone. Chat and unmute themselves. No, no. Now I've removed everyone from these things. Okay. Now I'm starting again. Okay. Friends, Rera has come since a long way, and it is giving Rera has created a lot of. There was construction sector was very much unorganized, and the allottees of the land, flat, housing unit, they were the sufferers, and because of that, there was a long conflict going on. Because of that, the way the construction activity should be gone is not going proper. So government has decided to form a law, and there is a regulatory authority. There are rights, and this is what I'm going to discuss in this thing. And this my talk is being approved by one of the Rera guys, and I'm so I have gone to the Rera authority and is because of this is informal, and they have gone through our presentation and said it's okay, and they have added some suggestions which we have implemented qua Gujarat Rera here. So, and government is very proactive in this thing. So with this, I'm going ahead. After that, I'm going to talk about startup project. So Rera is really a good comeback by India. So in China and USA, before they promulgated the law, they asked them that you have your own discipline. If law comes into picture, there are a lot of pitfalls coming on, and our developer and builder lobby has not been functioning well. So Rera has come into picture. Pre-Rera, builder was telling something. Okay, this is the land which we are giving. This is the facility which we were providing, and they were not providing the same way which has been informed when you are buying the facility and selling the facility. When you go actual position, there would be a lot of anomaly. Brochure कुछ दिखाते थे, होता कुछ और था. So there was emotional, sundry abuses. Like they were not completing the project in the time they have given. And they were extending so many times. So many court cases was going on. So this is one of the abuse. And there were many cash and check transactions were happening. They were taking in many extra charges which they should not have taken. There was no, suppose one has to go, then he has to go to the normal channel. Like there is a banking ombudsman, insurance ombudsman. Here you have to go to a normal court. Now they have created a ombudsman qua each state. So there is a very fast revolution. काफी project delay हो रहे थे. So Rera aims at using these 3 T. Transparency. आप जो बोलो वो करो. So before launching a project, they have to give whole details. Okay, and what are the details? Legal requirement, आपकी land clear है कि नहीं, NOC है कि नहीं, all documentation they need to submit, any NOC which is required, any government authority permission required which they have to upload, and they create a brochure. These are all details they have to submit it. Bridging the trust जो buyer और promoter और buyer के बीच में नहीं था, and real sector gives a really boost to the economy of this country. There were many housing requirement, many plotting requirement, many offices requirement, which India is lagging behind. So this real sector needs to be speed up. So this has helped it. So there are, who are the stakeholders? Landowner, जिसकी land थी, developer. Developer is like they are developing the land. So many times the developer does not buy land from the owner. They really make an agreement directly in the favor of customer. Their role is to develop it. So there are so landowner, developer, competent authority. Competent authority means Rera registration authority in Gujarat. Gujarat is a authority. They have got even tribunal also, where you can go there and complain against them. There is a mechanism. पहले आप रेरा अथॉरिटी उसको कंप्लेन, उसका कमिश्नरेट है. Where you are not satisfied, you go to appellate tribunal also. There is a estate agent advertisement, chartered accountant. Chartered accountant needs to look after the monetary items. Engineer and contractor look after the construction activity. Architect will be look after the structural design and what they are what they have they done properly. These are the way they have divided the authority: chartered accountant, engineer, contractor, and architect. 3 certificates are required before going through the before completing the project. And estate advertisement जो भी है वो. Then the third one is the customer who buys the land, shop, housing unit, flats. These are the buying authority. Object appellate authority, appellate tribunal बनाई है, regulatory authority है, regulation rules बनाए है, regulation बनाया है. Transparency and efficiency is being created, protecting the consumer interest, and consumer are made aware. These are your rights, which is being this my talk is basically to have your understanding of your rights. The salient features of Rera DA 2016 to establish a regulatory authority, mandatory public disclosures. So whenever you start a project, you need to mandatory do certain formalities. You should disclose obligation of promoter, obligation of LOT, power to make regulation and is given under Rera, dispute resolution mechanism, and penal provisions. These are the any law which requires a penal provision. There are laws to be made, regulation is to be made. Citizen centricity, transparency, financial discipline, accountability, and compliance. This Gujrera is containing all these things in detail. What it entails: selling the project layout plan. Either it is land, flat, house, or even multi-story building like flat, commercial complex. What they need to provide a project layout plan. They created a brochure. Brochure and actual should be same. There are many approvals are required. Proposed development work facility, pro forma of allowed letter and agreement is all provided in a standard format. Increase attention on timely completion of project and delivery to consumers. When you launch a project, you have been given a timeline. These are the time in which you are supposed to complete the project. This is what builder or developer gives to the Rera authority on the basis of the person who wants to, consumer or customer who wants to buy. He would buy on the basis of the details submitted by then. Defect liability period of, so when the project is completed, after completion there are 5 years of structural defect. Defect in workmanship, quality, provision of service, and other obligation. They are liable after the occupancy certificate for 5 years. Formation of legal entity of LOT within 3 months of the majority of the units books. So until today, what they were doing, the whole project they were occupying on themselves. They're not giving the possession and security deposit. They were keeping on their own. Now they're supposed to give it within 3 months of major booking, not after the completion. As soon as the body is, your majority booking is done, within 3 months of that, you have to give the entity, cooperative society or association, whatever form karke, you give deposit, and maintenance is not your problem. Quarterly update of Rera website with the details such as unsold inventory and pending approval. Conveyance of title deed within 3 months of occupation or completion certificate. within 3 months of you have to convince deed हो ही जाना चाहिए. Consent of 2/3 of LOT or any other addition or alteration. आपका जो भी LOT होता है, if you want to change in the approved plan or whatever submission made by you, either in either the submission of the scheme to the authority or brochure made by you or prospectus made by you or advertisement made by you, any alteration made by you, you need to have a 2/3 LOT's permission. Consent from LOT for any major addition and alteration. 2/3 for any other addition or alteration, any major addition or alteration, you need to have a consent in writing. Sale of agreement as per model, they have made a specific sale agreement. If you accept more than 10%, you need to make an agreement first. Increase the assertion on timely delivery of project, informing LOT for any major addition and alteration. No false statement or commitment in advertisement. 70% of the fund from LOT need to be deposited in the project of account. Suppose I have paid 1 crore, then 70 lakh rupees they should deposit in a special bank account, and for the withdrawal of that from that fund needs to be certified by architect, engineer and CA certified on the basis of percentage of completion method. Architect would give that this is the type of work which they have planned and they have done. Engineer would certified, CA would certified all financial project. Until then, you cannot withdraw the money. Developers to share the Rera website until the project launch. Whenever any project comes from a developer or a builder or a land, they have to say that before that date of submission, before last 5 years आपने क्या क्या project किया और कहाँ complete किया, कितना delay किया. So though RELA applicable from that date, आपको पहले क्या काम किया वो भी आपको certify करना पड़ेगा. Withdrawal to be certified by engineer, architect and CA. Provision for Rera to freeze project bank account upon non-compliance. Rera authority have been given power to freeze the bank account. Project account to be audited annually by the statutory auditor. आपका जो भी LLP है, प्राइवेट लिमिटेड है, कंपनी है, उसका सबका ऑडिटर जो आपका है वही प्रोजेक्ट अकाउंट ऑडिट करेगा. Provision for strong financial penalty for Rera non-compliance. The previously the builder have got a lot of power, now it has gone. If you complain, Rera authority would come into picture immediately and they would have levied the penalty, including even compounding, including the imprisonment. They can be compounded by वो method भी उधर लिखी हुई है. There are stringent law has been made. Maximum 1 year extension is provided for delay in project, not due to any कोई fault word नहीं देखा जाता है. No fault of developer is not this thing. They have to pay interest, unbiased interest, promoter to compensate the buyer for any false or incorrect statement along with a full refund of property. अगर कोई promoter to compensate, अगर buyer को ये false statement लगा, incorrect statement लगा, then you have to repay money back with interest. Functions and duty of promoter, builder or developer. Register new and ongoing project. कौन सा प्रोजेक्ट करना है वो मैंने बाद में लिया है. कौन सा प्रोजेक्ट एग्जाम है, कौन सा प्रोजेक्ट है, I have considered as one individual, an exclusive slide for that. But new and ongoing project required to be registered with will make disclosure in accordance with the Act, regulation and rules and regulation. Update quarterly. Quarterly, suppose your project start today. After every quarter, you have to submit 3 CA certificate, engineer certificate, structural engineer certificate. These are the things you need to update. Ensure that the advertisement, brochures, prospectus issued or published mentions Rera registration number. Rera registration number is one and Rera website address is there. जो भी आपका जो project है, display sanctions, layout plans, etc. at the project site. Be responsible for all obligation, responsibility and function under the Act, rules and regulation. Be responsible for all obligation, responsibility functions under the Act, rules and regulations in accordance with agreement to sell. Be responsible functions and duties of promoter. कोई सामने देख नहीं बार बराबर सामने. Okay. Be responsible for completion of project, obtaining occupation certificate. Be responsible for providing essential services. इन्होंने जो भी and on the brochure or at the time of submission they have to check. इन्होंने बोला कि मुझे उसमें club facility है, road facility है, every facility which is mentioned in there, it should be there. Okay. Execute conveyance deed with legal entity of LOT. Adhere to the fiscal discipline and comply with the provisions of Act, rules and regulation. No deposit or advance more than 10% is to be taken by the promoter without first entering into agreement. Up to 10% they take. As soon as your money go beyond 10%, you have to make an agreement of sell first. Obligation of promoter with the LOT. Contractual, enter into agreement. Registration of agreement, receive the flat consideration, hand over the possession flat as agreed. Statutory obligation, register agent who are going to sell the project, complete the building in all respect. Whatever you have mentioned, you should be provide occupation certificate as well as BU certificate, provide common facility, water connection, electric, disclose the information, provide all document which builder, which LOT wants it, registration as a society and legal body as soon as your majority of flat is sold or given up the possession, whatever whichever is providing the conveyance. Now builder or developer cannot have the right over their society which they were using till now. Now there are certain duties, rights and duties of LOT is also mentioned. LOT is entitled to obtain all relevant information brought in the Act. He has a right to have all the agreement, all the Act as per Act, which I mentioned further also. Sell deed should be signed by the promoter. जैसे राइट्स एंड ड्यूटीज ऑफ एलओटी, एलओटी को जो भी प्रमोटर बोले उसमें जो एग्रीमेंट टू सेल उसमें साइन करना चाहिए. LOT is entitled to know the detailed stage-wise progress of the project. Every quarterly, they are supposed to submit the details to the Rera authority. Qua structural engineer, qua architect, qua engineer, contract, and qua CA. So whole this कहाँ क्या बना वो उनको quarterly information LOT has a right to collect. LOT is entitled to penal interest on the entire amount paid for every month delay till handing over the possession. इन्होंने जो पैसा दिया उसका जो possession नहीं मिला तब तक उसको ये भरना पड़ेगा. Rights and duties of LOT. LOT is entitled to claim compensation for violation of provision under section 12, 14, 18 and 19. Obligation of promoter regarding veracity of the advertisement prospectus. जो भी एडवर्टाइजमेंट लिखा है वो इसकी ड्यूटी बन जाती है, ऑब्लिगेशन बन जाती है. एडहियर टू द सैंक्शन प्लान एंड प्रोजेक्ट स्पेसिफिकेशन बाय द प्रमोटर. Return of amount and compensation. Rights and duties of LOT. LOT is responsible for making necessary and timely payment in accordance with the agreement to sell. LOT should make the payment. LOT shall be liable to pay interest if payment is delayed. LOT shall participate in formation of legal entity. LOT shall take possession within 3 months or within 2 months of the occupancy certificate. Every LOT shall participate in regarding registration and conveyance deed. Rights of LOT. Right to information and document. Sanction plan, BU permission, everything like Raja Chitti, occupancy certificate are all their rights. Right to obtain certificate, compliance, completion, occupancy and lease certificate. He is a right to collect it. A right to claim compensation if the breach, if they have not delivered in time, they have not given a defective goods, defective material, they have a right to have a compensation. Right to withdraw from the project. If they are not following the project or they are transferring to third party, they have a right to revoke and ask for the money. A right to execution of agreement to sell. If more than 10% his money is paid, he has a right to see that his agreement is done. Duties of LOT. To participate in formation of association. Not to pay more than 10%. To participate in registration of conveyance deed. Duties of allotee. To make necessary payment as per Banakat, for delay he has to pay interest, not to buy apartment in unregistered project. Do not go on unregistered project. To take physical possession within 2 months from the date of occupancy certificate before making verify the builder's registration certificate. Function of real estate agent. There are real estate agents which are not registered with Rera authority. They are not allowed to sell the flat. They are not allowed to show the flat. They have no right to do that. Register with necessary details as prescribed in the rule. They have to register, not to facilitate any sale or purchase of any plot, apartment or building in a real estate which is required to be registered but not registered. So real estate agent is required to see that the project is approved by Rera. Not to, if it needs to be approved by the Rera. Not to involve in any unfair trade practice, namely false representative that his services are of a particular standard and grade. Represent that promoter or he is approved or registration which such promoter he does not have. Make false and representation regarding services which are going to be provided or provided by him. Not publish any advertisement of services that are not intended to be offered. Facilitate the possession of all information document as the allotee is entitled to at the time of booking. Real estate agent is also held equally responsible as promoter, as developer, as builder. Now, what are the duties of Gujrera? They should see that there is a minimum dispute among the allotee. Settle the dispute between allotee and promoter amicably, and if required, give the order, settle the dispute, recover the penalty. Regulator authority, Gujrera is required to give a permission if they are submitted all papers. Maintain the website, compliance of obligation, whatever obligation, quarterly submission, annual submission, if they don't submit, see that the penalties are levied. So the whole whatever the schemes are there, their compliance with that. Enter the name of the defaulter or default developer on the website so that people don't get registered. So what is Gujarat against the adjudication, against the promoter? They are supposed to ensure the compliance of the direction. They are giving they are giving recommendation. Advice of the appropriate government needs to be and making inquiries whether they are complying with or not. They can go and visit the site also. They can ask for the information. They see that the necessary compliance is made. For consumer, promote transparent, efficient, and competitive real estate sector. Gujrera is the authority which can make the whole construction sector, real estate sector more active and prevalent. Offenses and punishment. I'm going through the project later on. Punishment for if somebody is to be registered under Gujrera and they are not registered, they are liable for punishment under Section 59. Penalty for contravention under Section 51. Application, this is for real estate, penalty for contravention of section 454. Whatever condition they have fulfilled in a project, they have to comply. Penalty for contravention of other provision of Section 61. Penalty for non-registration by real estate developer agent 62. 63. Penalty for failure to comply with the with the order of authority by the promoter. The Gujrera authority asks the promoter to do something. If they don't do, the penalty can be leviable. The same with 64 is regarding appellate tribunal asking to do something. Same with authority asking something from real estate agent. Same by appellate authority. Penalty for failure to comply with the order authority by the LOT. Even LOT have been given some penalty. Suppose they are not even by tribunal also. Offense is by company. So even LOTs are also make responsible. If you don't make payment, you don't take possession, they're also responsible and there is a penalty provision for them also. These are the court for the purpose of compounding of any offense except a sum as may be specified in table. Punish for non. This is regarding compounding of offenses which are required or supposed to be that. Punish for non-registration. 5% of the estimated project of real estate project. 5% of the estimated of real estate project by the promoter. First is for non-registration, for second is non-compliance of the appellate authority order. Third one is appellate tribunal ka order. If real estate agent नहीं मानता है, penalty for failure to comply with the orders of appellate tribunal by the LOT. Or in all the cases, the amount of compounding means you are liable for imprisonment or this thing. This can be compounded by paying 5% of the real estate project. Qua for non-registration by the promoter, by appellate authority, a real estate agent as well as LOT. On payment of the sum of money in accordance with the table above, any person in custody in connection with that offence shall be set at liberty, and no proceedings shall be instituted or continued against such person in the court. So compounding is a very huge facility provided if they don't follow the law. If they don't follow the law, don't follow the direction, the promoter, LOT, or as the case may be, shall comply with the order. Form A is anyone who wants to apply for registration of a project. He has to apply in form number A. Form number B is declaration supposed by an affidavit, which shall be signed by the promoter or any person authorized by any promoter under section 3(4). Form A is the application for project. Form A is the affidavit and subsequent details of the project. The registration certificate of project will be given in form number C. Intimation of rejection of your project will be given in form D. Application for extension of the registration of project in form E. Certificate of extension of registration application E में ऐप में सर्टिफिकेट आएगा, जी में रियल एस्टेट आएगा, रजिस्ट्रेशन एच में आएगा, इंटीमेशन ऑफ रिजेक्शन ऑफ रियल एस्टेट एजेंट और रिजेक्शन इन फॉर्म आई में आएगा, एप्लीकेशन फॉर रियल renewal of registration in form J, and the certificate would be in form K. So A, B, C, D, E, F, G is the form in which you need to apply. Now, which project you need to register is a very important parameter of this. Completion, those projects, when Rera came into this, before 1577, if project is completed, you don't need to register with Rera. Completion is not obtained as on 1st April 2000, 1st May 2017. Now, completion of certificate obtained within 3 months of the commencement project, you don't need to be registered. But if you take more than 3 months of that, completion certificate is not obtained within 3 months of commencement act. But still, if it is more than that, if it is less than 500 square meter area, no permission. If your area is more than 500, but your unit is less than 8, no registration. Project is developed beyond planning area. What is planning area? TP scheme, and if there is a section under section 2ZH. If you are not coming under TP scheme, if you're not coming under certain project, you don't need to have a permission. The project for the purpose of renovation, repair, or redevelopment, which does not involve marketing, advertising, selling, or new allotment of any apartment, plot, or building, as the case may be under the real estate project. If you are redeveloping and you are not selling any new unit or a new allotment, then you don't need to have a permission. Okay. The project which do not fall in the above criteria required under Rera 3, Rera can ask anyone not within the planning area or neighbors to register with Rera. So Rera has the power to ask, though according to the above criteria not falling, they can ask for the registration. Registration process under Rera. The project process is completely online. You don't have to go physically there. Everything you can submit online. The first thing is you need to do the promoter detail. Then you have to stage 1. Then say stage 2, project detail. Project detail means what is the area of the land, what is the, how many units are you going to construct, what are the facility which you are providing. Block detail entry, architect certificate, then you have to give in form A, form 2 में engineer certificate, form 3 CA certificate. Architect block कहाँ कैसे बनेगा वो बताएगा. How many units, what are the structural requirement, engineer would certify what are the costs incurred, what are likely to be that. CA would certify the project cost and that. Project document upload. Project document means Raja Chithi, land document, any other details which are related to project document will be given. And then online you need to make a payment. Then confirmation of request you will receive. And after that you will get a certificate. That certificate to be issued by the project architect. The certificate to be issued by the project architect, project engineer, chartered accountant in practice for withdrawal of money from the separate account in the form number 1, 2, and 3, which we will discuss later on. The certificate required to be issued by the project architect engineer on completion of each of the building, wing, and the real estate projects in form number 4. The details of the details of all stage can be found in user manual for project registration available on the above mentioned website. Promoter detail, इसका PAN number, name, email address, mobile number, address, companies, if it is LLP, if it is private limited, public limited, you have to mention. Promoter के साथ, who is the authorized signatory? Name, email, mobile number, photograph. Project head. Name, email, project head, name, email, mobile number, address, photograph. Rera, if applicable, of other project or other project detail. Those who have completed, those who are the company who is a new company, not needed. If it is a new company, if it is an old company, you need to give last 5 years project name, आपने क्या-क्या project किया, क्या-क्या complete हुआ, project description, current status, type of land and address. These are quite exhaustive details. I'm just referring and reading, particularly to have a clarity in your mind. How Rera is very clear. How law is very clear. Once you define all these things, there is nothing hanky-panky left. Stage 2, once I read it, you can visualize how they have gone into detail so that law can be easily administered. Project name, suppose Mondial Height is a project description is a, Mondial Height is a project description is a office complex, project type, commercial, project status, how many buildings are, how many units are going to be project status, project start date कौन सी है, end date कौन सी है, how many Mondial Height has how many area of land which is available with them, टोटल ओपन एरिया कितना रहेगा, कितने एरिया में आपका कवर्ड एरिया रहेगा, मतलब कंस्ट्रक्टेड एरिया, project address, authority, physical application submission to office, application number, parking available, total number of garage parking, area of open parking, number of covered parking, total area of covered parking, estimated cost of construction. So construction cost कितनी होगी, suppose 100 crore, land की cost कितनी है 30 crore, total project cost, development details of registration, type of inventory, यहाँ कितना inventory है, suppose one floor is containing say 10,000 square foot, so 10,000 into it in 20 floor, number of inventory available, how many units you have made, how many units are available, how many parking plot is there, -1, -2, stack parking, everything you have to mention, carpet area, built up area of exclusive kept for balcony, how many veranda, exclusive terrace, internal work, the road कहाँ होगा, water supply कहाँ से आएगी, sewage, electricity, solid waste management, everything you need to give detailed. Project agent registration, you made some agent who are going to sell the project, you give their name, their RERA number, name, address, आपका architect कौन है, architect का name, address, mobile number, number of key project completed by that architect, registration with competent authority. Architect are required to be registered with, including engineer also. पहले engineer कौन register नहीं था, but this is also specified. Project structural engineer name, email address, structural engineer कौन है, स्ट्रक्चर में उसने क्या क्या रिकमेंडेशन किया है, व्हाट इज हिज सर्टिफिकेट, contractor detail, whom you have given a contract, what name, address, number of key project completed by him, and year of establishment of contractor, जैसे L&T है, and he has given outsource to someone. These are the details. Form 1, the block of details of every, whenever you want to withdraw the money from the project, your 70% of money you should keep in the project. If you want to withdraw from the project, architect certificate required, construction contractor certificate is required, and CA certificate is required. CA certificate would be requiring how many, how many, how what amount is spent for the purchase of land, what are the purpose of construction, and each detail, whom the payment is made, what are the bills, whether it is corroborated with the engineer certificate plus physical verification. He can go do and see that whether the whole papers are given, whether they are actually implemented or not. Architect survey to be submitted at the time of register ongoing projects and for withdrawal of money from designated account, percentage of work executed with respect to each activity in the entire project, and remark on that. Project block details, number of blocks, name thereof, details pertaining to each block, internal and external level of work in respect of the entire register phase. Engineer certificate to be on the certificate on the letter pad to be submitted at the time of register of ongoing project and for the withdrawal. जब वो project बनता है तब and at the time of withdrawal. Total estimated cost of completion of project. Whole building कैसे बनेगा? जैसे Mondial Height है तो Mondial Height का total जो land area है इसके पर से इन्होंने project cost कैसे निकाला, estimate cost कितनी है और कितना complete किया, कितना बाकी रहा, allied work, name of the engineer, local authority of license number, local authority license still valid, date of physical visit to the site, उसने जब किया तो उसको physical site पे जाके देखना भी पड़ेगा कितना काम हुआ, project block details, number of block and name thereof, details pertaining to each block separately, internal external work in respect of the entire register phase, list of extra item executed by the cost, chartered accountant on letter pad, it will be submitted at the time of registration as well as the land cost, development cost, total estimated cost, total cost incurred, percentage of completion, कितना काम complete हुआ, proportion of cost incurred and paid with land cost, construction cost to the total cost estimated, amount which can be withdrawn from designated account. Now CA will give the certificate. Now what are the money is deposited in that account? How you are how much amount you are eligible to withdraw from that account, and whom you need to make the payment. Amount withdrawn till date for the certificate of books of account and the bank statement. Net amount which can be withdrawn from designated under the certificate. Additional information booked and unbooked inventory. When he gives the certificate, he should also give the certificate that how many flats are booked, how many units are booked, how much money you get, how much money is non-booked. These are the whole detailed certificate which you require. So these are the document which online you need to submit. I'm not going into details. How much money you need to pay. The applicant is required to file registration in Form A with supporting document in Form B. The application shall be supported by, this is whole procedure for registration of the project online. Form A में भरना, Form B में supporting document. The application should be supported by architect certificate, engineer certificate, CA certificate, Form 1, 2 and 3. Further, the payment will be made through SPIE portal. कौन सा स्पेस में कौन सा ग्रुप ऑफ रेसिडेंशियल प्रोजेक्ट है, रेसिडेंशियल एंड कमर्शियल प्रोजेक्ट मिक्स है, only commercial project, product development project, per square foot less than 1000 square meter, how much money you have to pay, which is on the third column. I'm not going into detail. This is regarding how much payment you need to make is mentioned. After the payment, we generate the acknowledgement. the regulatory authority will either accept the form and provide the registration certificate in Form C or reject the form via Form D. What are the challenges of Rera? Ensuring registration of the project and agent, ensuring compliance to the provision of Act of Register Project, ensuring execution of order passed by them, dealing with the legacy of pre-project and easing the pace of transition, invoking section 7 and 8 of the Act for project completion of stress and stall project, creating a general awareness regarding Rera. So Rera is working very well. If you make any complaint against any builder, promoter, they are very quick to resolve. These are the key challenges for Gujrera, post Rera. Like first thing is awareness among the LOT. What are their right? Until today, the sector was not organized. Now it started to organize. Need for timely completion of project, liquidity. As NBFC is not providing the funds, they are reluctant to give funds. They need to promote. Delays in project completion. There may be sometimes genuine project. We look at the this way, but this is what this I've gone through the Gujarat Rera project, and so all my experience I've shared with here. Now, with this, I'm going to my next presentation. I am a president of ISACA chapter Ahmedabad. We are every Friday we are doing, this time we have taken a class on Saturday, and we are promoting ISACA chapter for the purpose of doing CISA, CSAM, CGIT. And as India is growing very fast, youth is growing very fast, we are promoting so that we can sell our product, we can sell our services abroad, and CISA and all the certifications are highly recognized all over the world. There is CISA, ISACA chapter having 250 branches all over India. Our chapter formation was a 250 chairman the chapter. These are research-based organization entity, and the certification is well recognized all over the world. I uh, I humbly ask the young generation to join this course and have their valuation. With this, I'm going to my next presentation on Startup India Benefit Qua. You know, India have a lot of ecosystem to make. Uh, so what do you need because what do you need for any project to be implemented? Say Facebook, say Amazon. This started with a stretch. What they have when Facebook and Amazon start, they have an idea, they were promoter, there were money, there were all organization, which I have explained you, and which are matured. These are incubators. Maybe any idea. So government has started having 100,000 crore project, and this has started giving a good result in India because it gives a boost to unemployment is removed. There are many benefits. So these are I have covered how this project works, how it started functioning, how India is going to be benefited by this. This is I'm going to take. Startup India is a flagship initiative of the government India intended to build ecosystem that is sustainable, conducive for growth of startup business to drive sustainable economic growth and generate a large scale of employment opportunity. Government through this initiative aims to empower the startup to grow through the innovation and design. The 19-point startup action plan envisage several incubation center, easier patent filing, tax exemption, ease of doing business, and 10,000 crore corpus fund was started. And furthermore, they have created exit mechanism once it doesn't work. What is the pillar of this action plan? Simplification and handholding go together. Give the support, give the incentive, and there should be a coalition between academician and industry. So if you look about Silicon Valley, if you go and China, there would always be a university which is supported by industrialists. Industrialists could choose whatever they want in academic and all the things, they get it from university only. Who are considered to be eligible for startup? If the registration is less than 10 years, if the turnover does not exceed 100 crore, it is working towards innovation, development and deployment, or commercialization of a new product, or product is old but process is new, services is driven by technology and intellectual property. So it should not be always a new product. Maybe a process may be new. Services may be old, but it is supported by different technology. So these are the work which government is trying to promote and is called as startup right. I'm again it is working toward innovation, development, deploymentation, commercialization of new product. Suppose there is a product but it's not commercialized. Here we are entitled to commercialization also of new product, processes, services driven by technology and intellectual property. Provided that any such entity formed by splitting up or reconstruction of a business already existing shall not be considered as startup. Total new project should be there. Objective is to boost a startup, generate maximum employment, encourage people who have a potential to innovate and start their own business, be a job creator. This is the purpose of job creation. Forms for setup. There is a website. Firstly, the company should be formed. Either it should be a private limited or LLP. Secondly, you go to website dapp.gov.in. Secondly, the firm should have obtained approval from the Department of DAPP for this. Then it should be recommended by an incubation center. Incubation center is available. You go to website, there is a list of incubation center. Key incentive for this thing. First incentive, no application of labor law. कोई भी इंस्पेक्टर आपकी ऑफिस नहीं आएगा दूसरा स्टार्टअप एक्टिविटी. No inspection for 3 years. Only thing you need to give a self-certification of compliance with certain labor laws and the environment law to reduce the regulatory burden. What are the laws which are excluding? Construction, Other Construction Workers Act 1976, Inter-Minister Migrant Workmen, Payment of Gratuity, Contract of Labor and Regulation Abolition Act 1970, Employee Provident Fund and Miscellaneous Provision Act, Employee State Insurance Act. These are the acts for which you should not worry. Faster exit and startup. In terms of insolvency, IBC 2016, startup with simple debt structure or those meeting such criteria as may be specified may be wound up within a period of 90 days for making an application. So there is an exit rule makeup with this fast track basis. Suppose you started and you can't work on it because of a lot of things, because innovative sector may not be funding may be needed. You may not be able to have funding, so that you may have a chance to go this. Profit. કોઈ એક જણ સાંભળવાળો કહેજો છે ને કોણ છે રાજુ કે કોઈને કહી દે ખાલી સાંભળ મને 10 મિનિટ બીજી થશે જે બી પડે સાંભળે છે ને ખાલી કહેજે. Profit shall be exempted from income tax under the rule 80IAC. 3 years out of 7 years. You can choose the year in which you want to start. Suppose you can start at the 4th year, you can start with the 2nd year, you can start in the 4th year, any year you strike. But it should be supported, it should be certified and obtained by interministerial board. Patent application IPR protection. Startup India provides high quality of intellectual services and resources to help startup protect. Startup and commercialize their IPR. These include fast tracking of startup application, providing 80% of rebate in case of patent registration, 50% in case of trade registration. There is a panel available which support them to have the patent and registration done, because patent and trademark registration require a lot of paperwork also. So there is a fleet of advocate available with them. Now, public procurement. Now, public procurement refers to exemption from requirement of earnest money deposit in government tenders. There are many government tenders. They have provided norms that those who are startup can get easily order from government department. You need to go to website startup.gov.in, name, email address, mobile number, password, आपका number registration, आपका एक account register होगा. You can register as an individual, you can register as a mentor, you can register as an accelerator, you can be an institutional investor, you can be a corporate, you can be a startup, you can be an incubator, you can be an individual investor, or you can be a government body. If an individual wants to register like block government things, the mentor may share with a mentor an informal information about that accelerator, startup accelerator. So these are the facilitator which provide different services to this thing. So there would be a one forum once registration is done. Now you have to say about my startup contact information category in which you are registered. Financing the road. Following are the ways of financing the startup. External source, seed capital, angel investor, crowdsourcing, venture capital fund, and private equity. Internal source, personal financing. Suppose I want to invest in a startup and I sold my house. Capital gain tax is not liable. If I sell the shares, not liable. Personal credit line, peer-to-peer lending, vendor financing, purchase order financing. There are many, government is giving a lot of to go ahead with the project. Venture capital scheme. This is a very different scheme. Venture capital assistance is a financing support in the form of an interest-free loan provided by small finance, agriculture, small farmers, agri-business consortium to a qualifying project to meet the shortfall in the capital requirement for implementation of project. Benefit, help in assisting agri-venture to make investment in setting up agri-business project through financial participation. Provide financial support for preparation of bankable detailed project through project development facility. So there are many agriculture, agro industry. If they come up, it would be give a boost to even agriculture sector also. It's a potato. There are many agri-business warehousing. These are a facility available there also. Support for international patent protection and in electronic and information technology. SIP is a scheme to provide financial reports to MSME and technology startup unit in internal patent filing to encourage innovation and recognize the value and capability of IP, and with capturing growth and opportunity in ICET sector, which patent registered we have taken. This is another way of patent registration. Stand up. This is a facility for SC, ST and women. Stand Up India scheme facilitated bank loan between 10 lakh to 1 crore. At least one SC member, ST member borrow on at least one woman per branch, setting up at a greenfield enterprise. This enterprise may be manufacturing, service or trading facility. If it is not an individual, if it is a company, 51% of shareholding and controlling should be with the SC/ST or woman enterprise. SC/ST enterprise should be above age. Loan, there are eligibility. Loan under the scheme is available for only greenfield project. Greenfield signifies in the context of first time venture of the beneficiary in the manufacturing or services or a trading sector. In case of non-individual enterprise, 51% of the shareholding and controlling stake should be held by either SC or ST. Borrower should not be in default to any banking and financial institution. Those who are defaulter will not be entitled for. Single point registration. The government is single largest buyer of a variety of goods with a view to increase the share of government. Government wants to promote whatever government needs. They can buy it through MSME. MSME say government want to buy more and more. So they are registered here. For that they don't have to pay a tender fee. They don't have to EMD. The advantage of tender participation and procurement through MSE, government also get a goods or services at a discounted at a lower price, and MSME is also promoted. These are research. I'm not covering that. High risk and high reward research is a scheme supporting and inviting A new proposal and ideas expected to have a paradigm shifting in influence in science and technology. Applicant should be an Indian citizen. Here they want to promote an scientific research activity. The application must be a regular academic research position to recognize in a recognized institution. The proposal can be submitted by an individual or a team of individuals. Proposal submitted by team of investigation must identify a principal investigator who will spread head, who would be the header of research objectivity and administrator of a grant. Now this is a startup eco activity. The startup activity should be supported by support organizations, which we said in the registration. These are the supporters organizations. These are organizations that want to support an ecosystem. Big company would promote that. University would be there. Funding, those who want a funding, those are service provider. These are our research and organizations. These are the 6 pillars which support an ecosystem. Ecosystem means जैसे फेसबुक को जैसे अमेजोन था, फेसबुक था, अलीबाबा था. They have an idea. When they started, they have an idea, invention and research in their mind. They were on a startup stage. They were an entrepreneur. They have a team member, which requires an investor. And sometimes they require a mentor who are ready to guide them. They have an advisor and other entrepreneur people with them, people from related organizations. So this is an ecosystem. There needs to be a big company. So Facebook has not become a big company by day one. They've been promoted by universities. They've been in coordination, funding organization, service provider, research organizations. These are called ecosystem, which would make company to a large extent. So it is said that many startup fails, but those who startup work, they are working huge this thing. With this, if any question, just mail me at nitinpathak@gmail.com. This presentation would be available on blog. Call me or WhatsApp me on my number 9825804094. This is my blog address where this presentation would be kept, and YouTube at CA NITIN PATHAK. Thank you very much. If anybody wants to see that, they can come there. It would be available there. Thank you very much once again. Any question, we can take it. This would be available on blog also. Thank you very much, everyone. We will meet again next. Thank you, sir. Thank you, everyone. Darshan.